either process.
I did some regression analysis of key success factors. When I was the prime ministerial candidate, 2023, all that we're talking about exist, but against all odds, I won. And the key success,
That was the electoral.
the electoral vote, and then the key success factor that we, all the districts that I had run, maybe like 800 districts combined using all these data, voting turnout is number one. No matter how poor the candidate, no matter how strong the competitor, no matter how much they do gerrymandering, no matter how they cancel the debates and the media, as long as people haven't lost the hope and showed up to the ballot to vote, if it's 70%, we wouldn't. If it's lower than 70%, no matter how strong the candidate, no matter how old the competitor or used as the competitor, the incumbent, we lose. So because your question asks for the priority,
Yeah.
for me, if we are to return to democracy or improving the health of democracy, it has to be voting turnout. And the autocrats also know this. So that's why they are trying to drive the voting turnout down through voter suppression and voter fatigue by making politics as crazy as possible. It could be about Haiti, it could be dogs, it could be about Puerto Rico, it could be about a lot of things back home in Thailand also, that they feel like this is such a dramatic thing that I don't want to get involved.
Right.
But if the voting turnout is, so it has to be voter mobilization and engagement strategy, talking Kennedy term.
Yeah.
So those would be two things that can respond to all the pessimism that we had talked about in the first part of this panel. Voter mobilization and engagement strategies to make sure that people feel like they're going to go out and vote when the time comes. But for the autocrats, they will make sure that 78% that I had that opportunity to go against all odds and beat all the techniques that they had thrown against me. They will make sure the voting turnout is lower than 70% all the time going forward. So that's a new ball game that I need to fight as a coach now. Not as a player.
I'm going to respond in Freddie's voice to you a little bit and say, look, I thought it was elections too at voter turnout, but we won the last one, and they just decided to ignore it. So how would you respond to that? Is like, even if you get the 70%, even if it's a decisive win, they're just going to ignore it. So I want to be Venezuela.
So it's the same for me. So I won that election.
Yeah,
I form a comfortable coalition of 312 out of 500. So in any parliamentary system, if you have 312 as a government, it's pretty strong. And I got blocked by the appointed senators. So yeah, it goes back to the point that I made. All these politics of appointed. When you're appointed by someone, you respond to that person who appointed you, whether directly or indirectly. So that's why if we win the election by a comfortable majority next time, my goal is to have 20 million voters for the new party, the reincarnated party 3.0, under 2.0. So we got 14, not enough. We have to win more. It has to be 20. And once you have enough number of parliament, that's when you're starting to change laws on the origin, on the transparency, and on accountability of those people who will stop you outside of it.
Yeah.
So it has to be a two-step process.
So in the back of your mind, you're thinking that that legitimacy really is still there. If you can demonstrate overwhelming popular support, that just will carry the day, because people will have to respect that.
And laws can be amended anytime. So now the law was set in stone by the product of military coup. That's why they did it like that. But now if we have enough representation in the parliament, like a sizable amount of representation in the parliament, nothing's going to stop us. At least we'll show off a quorum, that's for sure. And then finally, you could finally make sure that the Constitution and the electoral laws is more fair and more democratic, but that's going to take time. So it's winning election to do it every possible way that it's not possible. Don't vote is not possible. That's what they're trying to do. So it has to be a two-step process, a two-pronged approach.
That's a terrific